First of all, we have to create awareness and we have to know the facts and figures. Then, of course, we have to scale up success stories. And we have seen many success stories here in The Hague, how we can overcome, for example, the post-harvest losses by the cold storage systems, technology of universities, but also especially the private sector working together in the value chain.
We have to stop doing the things we did until now, because that is one of the reasons why we are where we are. So tackling this huge challenge, all players need to be involved. There's only one way out, and that is the cooperation amongst all the players.
A different food system is possible. It is possible if we build on people's capabilities, if we give them a voice in decision-making at all levels, if we strengthen people's rights to natural resources, water, but also women's rights that are so fundamental to achieving a better food system and the right to food. And if we also look seriously at our own consumption level, if we look at our consumption as consumers, our action as citizens, our policies as governments, and to seriously take into account the impacts of those anywhere across the world.
There's no time to wait. That's one thing for sure. The Sustainable Development Goals aim for 2030. We have to eradicate hunger in one generation, but there are people going to bed hungry now. So there's a lot of urgency to address hunger and malnutrition. That means that we all have to look at ourselves to what can we do, and we are perhaps we do have a professional capacity as a representative of government, of the private sector, of science. That is one thing, and I think it's imperative to sit together to work out the solutions. But the other thing is we are also all consumers, and we need to ask ourselves the question, do I pay a fair price for this banana in the supermarket? Do I pay a fair price for this pineapple?
The main challenge, of course, is to ensure we produce enough food in the first instance. And in order to do so, we've got to be responsive to the climate change that obviously is happening. And we have to assist farmers to become more adaptable. We have to assist farmers to become more resilient. And in that way to ensure that we do indeed produce a lot more food.
The world has come to the point now where we are extremely rich in aggregate. We have a tremendous amount of global income. We have an even more amazing amount of global wealth. The problem really is the distribution of these two. Now, I am asking for that kind of an international order. I want the governments finally to do what they've promised to do, what they've recognized as their obligation, namely create a social and international order in which human rights can be fully realized. We started with the right to food. It's a very important right. It's sort of the quintessential characteristic of real poverty is if somebody doesn't even have enough to eat. We have to realize that right. We can very easily realize that right. And to realize it, we have to restructure the world economy in such a way that the lower half of the human population also has secure access to sufficient food. That's possible, and we just have to do it.
To the visitor in Milan, part of our modern world, I would say buy not more than you can eat. Don't throw away half your purchases at the end of the week. I think that would be a positive contribution to the implementation of a real right to food.